There's a man who can control all the others but only one man, and the only one man tries to stop him. Haunters starts. A woman goes in a hurry taking his son blindfold, who falls down, wearing a prosthetic leg. She feeds him, making sure he keeps it on even while sleeping. Then her husband barges in, who has just found her hiding from him. Saying blindfolding doesn't make him human, he menaces the boy, when she protects him, which makes him angry and beat her up. Crying, when the boy takes the blindfold off, he stops moving. As the boy goes toward him, he steps back, with his eyes empty. When the boy stops walking, he also stops, raises his hands, and breaks his neck. After that, she tries to kill him, saying it's too much for both of them. Then he, chewing the cloth, makes a hole, and sees her through it, which makes her release him and lose her consciousness. Not before long, she wakes up and looks for her son, but he's gone. 20 years later, he checks into a fancy hotel. In the hotel room, he paints a plastic model resembling himself. He doesn't have his name, so let me call him Haunter. And this is Lim, who works in a junkyard with migrant workers, among whom Bubba and Ali are his best friends. After hanging out together on the weekend, they throw him his birthday present, so he gets delighted, but run over by a truck. Miraculously he survives, but gets fired from his job, so goes for a job interview to a pawnshop. Observing his face, the boss starts to call him Manager Lim. He shows a security camera and a stun gun, which he got after some of his money disappeared. He's sure someone took his money, because he remembers and even writes down every detail about his money. The next day, excited, he goes to work, and meets the boss's daughter Young Suk. As he's sociable and kind, the three of them become like family soon. One day, Ali and Bubba visit the pawnshop. Ali says the boss seems a crook, Bubba says the daughter is pretty. Then Haunter comes in, and makes everyone freeze. Staring at the boss, he makes him take out money from his safe box. However, Lim alone isn't controlled by him, and tries to fight back, so he makes Ali and Bubba go at Lim and stop him, who shakes them off, but soon is stabbed by Young Suk. Nevertheless, Lim goes toward him, when the boss tries to hit Lim with the stun gun, and gets stuck between bars. Lim tries to save the boss, but he gets hit with the stun gun, which makes him faint, and Haunter leaves. The boss dies in this accident. That night, Lim, Ali, and Bubba go into the pawnshop. Ali unlocks the boss's room, and they check the security footage, during which they're surprised Haunter has appeared again, which makes him notice someone inside. Haunter makes dozens of people come in and chase them. Running away, Lim goes back to take the videotape, and hides under the furniture, when the people barge in. Finding no one, they go back, and Haunter checks the tape, which is gone. To make sure there's no one inside, he turns all the lights on, and then finds Lim hiding on the ceiling structure. Jumping over the people and getting out, he gets in the van and tries to run away, but soon he makes a sudden stop and chases Haunter to catch. In the corner, when he's about to catch Haunter, a clerk of a restaurant comes near to take out the trash, so Haunter tries to control him, when Lim happens to push the headlights button, and the clerk just goes back. Now Lim realizes Haunter controls people with his eyes, but the clerk has come to take Lim down with other passengers. Saying it's not natural there's someone not controlled by him, Haunter makes one of them break a bottle and try to stab him in the neck, but he hits Haunter with the stun gun, and makes him faint. He takes Haunter to the police station with his head covered, and gives the tape, warning them not to take the cover off because he controls people with his eyes. However, the chief officer doesn't believe Lim and has the cover taken off, so Haunter makes an officer shoot at Lim and runs away. He goes down to the subway station, and wait for Lim at the end of the platform. Making all freeze, he can see Lim walk toward him. Lim shouts he can't control people and make them die as he likes, but Haunter says Lim is the one who's making everyone die. Everyone goes at Lim, but he succeeds in getting out of them, when Haunter makes a mother throw her baby at the train coming into the station. Jumping to the baby and catching it, Lim's crashed into the train and a pillar. After a while, the mother wakes up and takes the baby away, but soon blood squirts out of his head and he falls down. When he barely gets to the bench, Haunter sits next to him, checks he's dead, and leaves. He feels dizzy because he used too much power because of Lim. The news reports Lim and Haunter stole a pistol from a police station. Haunter gets back to his hotel room, and makes freeze the police going through the room. Before running away, he tries to take his plastic models, during which he hears Lim is on the run, and gets furious, so he takes a gun from an officer, and shoots them all. The next day, Lim goes to the junkyard, and meets Ali and Bubba in the corner. Ali persuades Lim just to report to the police, and entrusts them with Haunter, but Lim knows all of them are helpless in front of him. Then Bubba suggests they take it as their fate. Late at night, to catch Haunter, Ali turns his cell phone into glasses covering his eyes, and though it's not done yet, he rebuilds their van. Moreover, he makes a flare that makes people blind for a while. On the other hand, the police investigate Haunter's mother's house, but find out he hasn't appeared to her over 20 years. Then she sees young Haunter walk into the house, which makes her happy. Haunter takes a gun from a police officer, and sits in front of his mother. Saying it's hard, he tries to shoot her, but he can't. He makes all the police get out, open a manhole cover, and throw themselves into it, and throws the gun there, too. After a while, she wakes up, and looks for her son, but there's no one around. Ali worries Lim should handle everyone except himself, because Haunter controls everyone, but Lim says it's alright because Haunter's alone but Lim is with Ali and Bubba. Bubba just wants to grab a beer after catching Haunter as soon as possible, so Lim promises he'll pay for everything. At night, Lim wakes up to find Bubba trying to shoot Ali, which means Haunter is near them. He spots Haunter out of the window and chases him, entering a building. People inside the building talk to him as Haunter says that the boss died because of him. These people will suffer or die because of him too. And Haunter makes people throw themselves to the ground, so Lim screams in agony. Then people start to wake up, and Lim, in confusion, runs out. Haunter staggers out of the building, and sees Ali and Bubba standing by to catch him. Shooting the flare, they go at him, but soon they're controlled by him. After a while, finding out they're taken away, Lim looks for everywhere, but to no avail. Getting back to the pawnshop, he's hit in the head and faints. He wakes up to find all of them hanging from the ceiling, and begs Haunter to set Ali and Bubba free. Saying it always feels like shit to be different from everyone else, and to lose something that matters to oneself, Haunter makes them jump from the chairs, and kicks the chair under Lim's feet. When he gets out, Young Suk is coming to the pawnshop. Seeing a cutter on the ceiling structure, he shakes his body and makes the knife drop. Cutting all the rope, he rushes and tries to save them, who don't wake up. He screams and cries, dashing out. When he runs toward Haunter, Young Suk gets in Haunter's car, controlled by him. Taking the van, he chases Haunter. Haunter makes other cars rush to Lim, during which he loses his consciousness, because he's been using his power too much again. He crashes into a truck, and his prosthetic leg is stuck, which makes him furious. He makes all the other cars rush toward Lim. At that moment, Ali and Bubba appear to Lim, and point a switch, so he turns it on. Then the car runs fast like crazy through the cars. Taking a gun from a police officer, Haunter shoots Lim. And then he wears his prosthetic leg and goes into a building with Young Suk. On the rooftop, when Lim finds Young Suk standing on the edge, and approaches her, Haunter shoots him again. Beating him up, Haunter says all Lim has to do is die in order to save them all. However, Lim swears he will never die until he kills Haunter first, and save as many lives as Haunter has taken for the rest of his life. Saying he can see why Lim alone isn't controlled by him, he points the gun to Lim's head. Lim asks what Haunter's name is, which makes him shocked and lose his power, so Lim rushes to him, and jumps off the building holding him. They fall onto Lim's van. After some time, riding on a wheelchair, Lim goes to the subway station, and meets Young Suk to visit the boss's grave. Then people start to scream because a child has fainted on the rails, but the train comes in, and Lim shouts. When nothing happens, the people are confused and look around. Then on the opposite platform, Lim is holding the child in his arms, smiling. For more videos like this, remember to subscribe and hitting the like button helps this channel continue.